Everyone, we are working on week 10's daily edits. Today is Monday, and we are going to be reading about the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire. March 25th, 1911 started out as an ordinary spring Saturday in New York City. 500 workers, mostly young women, reported to work at the 10-story building at the corner of Washington Place and Green Street. They headed upstairs to the top 3 floors, where the Triangle Waist Company manufactured shirtwaist, a type of women's blouse that was the height of fashion at the time. Tragically, 146 of those workers would never return home. The fire that would start just before closing time would cost them their lives. More than 4/10 of the victims was teenagers. Today we have 12 capitalization issues, 2 language usage issues, 1 apostrophe, 3 commas, 2 hyphens, and 2 spelling mistakes. In our first sentence, we have a comma and a bunch of capitalization mistakes. Our first sentence again says March 25th, 1911 started out as an ordinary spring Saturday in New York City. We need to put a comma after 25 because it is listing it as a date, and we want to separate our day and our year. We also have a bunch of proper nouns that need to be capitalized. Saturday is a proper noun because it names the day of a week, and New York City is a specific place, so it needs to be capitalized. In our next sentence, we have 2 commas, a hyphen, and 3 capitalization mistakes. So 500 workers, mostly young women, reported to work at the 10-story building at the corner of Washington Place and Green Street. Our first comma is going to go after workers and after women because this is just adding additional information. Our next mistake is a hyphen, and we're going to put a hyphen between 10-story because it is a compound adjective that starts with a number, so we need to put a hyphen between those 2 words. And my next mistakes are all proper noun mistakes, and that is going to be Washington Place, because this is the name of a street, and Green Street. My next sentence reads, they headed upstairs to the top 3 floors where the Triangle Waist Company manufactured shirtwaists, a type of women's blouse that was the height of fashion at the time. So our first mistake is going to be capitalization, and that is going to be Triangle Waist and Company. That is the name of the company, so it needs to be capitalized. We also need an apostrophe in women's, and that is going to go before the S. We also have a spelling error, and that is going to be height, and that is Height. Our next sentence says, tragically, 146 of those workers would never return home. We have a spelling error, which is would. It should be W-O-U-L-D. The one they had was like wood from a tree. The next one is a capitalization error, and that's the beginning of our next sentence, which is the. So the fire that would start just before closing time would cost them their lives. That's the only mistake in that sentence is the capitalization. And our last sentence says more than 4/10 of the victims was teenagers. So we have a lot going on in this sentence. First off, it's not capitalized, so we're going to capitalize the M and more. We have a language usage error, and that is then. It should be than. Our next one is 4/10. We need a hyphen in 4/10 because it is a compound adjective. And was should be were. And that is our second usage error. And that concludes our daily edit.